Hey guys, what's up? So let's quickly discuss what is the trade call for tomorrow. That's 31st of January 2020. So let's get started. Okay, so before we get started, I just want to say a few things about these videos. Okay, so that's why we are seeing the disclaimer slide. So first and foremost, I am nobody, right? I'm just curious about stock markets, and I thought it's a good idea to make these videos. You must understand that I'm not a SEBI licensed investment advisor or anything of that sort. Okay, my trade calls could go terribly wrong, so be careful before following my advices. So excuse me, I'm suffering from a bit of cold, I guess. Okay. The next thing is sticking to rules is important. Keeping a stop loss is paramount. I just can't stress this enough. All right. So you must ideally exit if the price breaches stop loss. Okay. Entering into a trade is your decision, solely your decision, right? And next one is I might or I might not be having the shares that I mention in these videos in my portfolio. You please don't assume that if I mention a particular share that I would be having that share in my portfolio. So please be mindful of that. Then I would encourage you to consider these videos for educational purpose and come up with your own strategies. That would be a good thing. It's fascinating to witness the battle between bulls and bears in the market, right? So I encourage you to experience that battle. It's fulfilling, honestly. So the next one is I'm not responsible for your losses, so please don't abuse me if the trade goes against the expectation. Alright, so I have no intention of hurting your capital, right? I just keep reiterating this. And then lastly, the reference materials that I have used so far is these are primarily what I refer to, the Zerodha Varsity and then the NCFM workbook, right? That's available for technical analysis. So I hope these things are clear. Now let's get started. So today, in my last video I said SDFC would be a good buy, but as you would have noticed, the trade actually went against what we had predicted, right? So 1236 was the spot price in the morning, and then it actually came down till 1217, right? So the stop loss is still quite far away. So I suggest you continue to hold it. The target is 1300, and I've just changed the stop loss 10 points below, right? And I'm really sorry, I had mentioned it as 1210 yesterday, but I think 1200 would be a better stop loss for this one. So even if it breaches 5 paisa, like 1199.95, I would say you should be exiting the position, right? Now, yesterday I was mentioning about strike rate logic, meaning how many recommendations I make and then how many of those turn out to be correct ones, right? So I thought instead of making it complicated, let's have a simple formula. So if the target is hit, then the strike rate would be 100, and if it hits the stop loss, it would be 0, right? So how do we keep track of that? I'll try and make a weekly or monthly videos about the strike rate. So transparency is important, isn't it? All right. The next one is basics. I keep reiterating the same things again and again. It might take about 1 minute of your time, but I still think it is priceless. Anyway, let's just get into that. So the market punishes the impulsive and impatient, and at the same time it rewards the disciplined and patient person, right? Person with patience. And this is something the next quote I just came across this morning, and I found it really nice, so I just have added here. The devil whispers you cannot withstand the storm, right? So you might experience this when you take a huge trade, but you being the warrior, you should reply that darling, I am the storm, isn't it? To the devil, I mean. Okay. And the next one is patience. I mean, patience is utmost factor. I mean, it's extremely important. The next one is psychology. How do you control your mind and stuff like that. And then sticking to rules, the candlesticks, the stochastics, the volumes, the target, and then the stop loss. Cool. Let's move to the next one. So the recommendation for tomorrow, that's 31st of January, is Maruti. The current spot is 7020, as you can see. The target is 7350, and the stop loss is 6800. All right. So triple R, the reward to risk ratio is 330 is to 220, meaning you are ready to risk 220 rupees to gain 330 rupees. Right. So that's how you read RRR, reward to risk ratio. Now the next one is the fundamentals of the company. Though we are actually taking a trade. The trade is based on technical analysis, but I wouldn't take the trade for a company like S Bank or DHFL for good reasons, isn't it? So I wouldn't prefer doing that. Though there are people who actually take trade in such companies and make losses or even book profits. Right, so fundamentals are important for me, so that's why we are looking into fundamentals. So if we consider, I'm really sorry about that. It should be December 2018 spot. I'm really sorry that the first column 7465. It's December 2018. It was 7465, and then it is December 2019, the second column, okay, 7368. So if you see that it's returns of minus 1.3, okay, so there's a negative return. So then how do we think that it's a good company? So in the previous videos I have said that Muthoot Finance had a return of 40%, 48%, I guess, and then HDFC had a return of 20%. But then why are we looking into a company which has given negative returns in the last 1 year? Because emotions. Maruti cars are running on the road, and I think they have posted some to an extent good results in the Q3, right? So fundamentally it's okay to take this trade. That's what I feel. So but it's up to you guys, okay? But still, yeah, I mean, if we go by strict rules, it's not meeting that 10, 15, 20% returns in the last year, so you might have to watch that out. The next one is news. The general news, coronavirus is wreaking havoc everywhere. I just don't understand why stock markets could fall other than this, right? And globally markets are falling, and Indian market is just following the suit. And so yeah, the markets are in panic mode. Even the budget is not pushing the markets towards north, isn't it? Let's wait and see what happens. And then coming to specific news with regards to Maruti Q3 results, I mean, they've just posted on 28th, I guess. It's just a couple of days ago, and there's an interesting article on money control, okay? So 3 different opinions from the expert advisors, right? So I have actually posted the link for that in the description section, but just to take you through the article quickly, right? So here, this is the article. You can read it later, but I'll just quickly take you through. Kotak says that you should be selling Maruti because they think that the price will go to 5,800. This is ridiculous and too much. I mean, I just can't imagine this happening. Anyway, Morgan Stanley says that it's overweight, and then they are saying it will go to 8,205, right? And then there's something called Jefferies. I'm not really sure who these folks are, and they are saying you should be holding it, and they have raised the target to 7,500. So 2:1 if you just see it. But this is ridiculous. Kotak is ridiculous in the sense, I mean, not blaming Kotak folks. Of course, I mean, they would have made these studies, but I just can't imagine that. Okay, so that would be a nightmare for someone who takes this trade, right? So that's how the markets work. One person thinks it's good to sell, one person thinks that it's good to buy, right? So that's the reason why markets thrive. Right. Then the important factor, the best one for the last, the technical analysis. Why do I think this is the best bet for tomorrow? Let's look into this one here. Right. So this is the daily chart for Maruti. So if you see here, so there's a big bearish candle here, right? And the stochastics are hitting oversold conditions. And if you see for 29th and 30th, there is huge indecision. Okay, the volumes are good, but we see mostly doji on 30th. I mean, that's today. And here you can say that it's a reverse hammer mostly, right? Or even kind of doji. So this, what do these candles indicate? Indecision. That's it. So there's an indecision, and it has, in the last 10 days it has lost about 500 rupees, right? So 7517, yeah, 500 rupees in the last 10 to 12 days. So let's hope the markets reverse tomorrow, right? So yeah, I mean, if coronavirus is contained, I think we should be good with the budget in the next couple of days, right? So that's about candlesticks and stochastics. As I said, I'm really sorry. The stochastics are oversold conditions, if you see here, and even MACD here, if you see the volumes are not it's a good sign. I mean, if you know how to read MACD, right? So we have a green bar over here. It's a histogram, isn't it? MACD. So it's a good sign that that the trend will reverse. So it's good to buy. So that's about stochastic, and then encouraging volumes, right? So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good luck and good night. Thanks a lot. Bye.